I think I want to pass over to Adam and or Flick. They're going to do a little bit of an intro on what this whole industry is all about, social impact, and just introduce themselves because they're going to be asking our startups a few questions today. So please make him welcome, Adam and or Flick. All right, cool.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for having me. My name is Flick Manning. I'm a serial entrepreneur in the social impact and social enterprise space. I'm a founding member of a not-for-profit board and an ambassador for 3 not-for-profit organisations. I've also worked in Silicon Valley, on the East Coast in the startup ecosystem, and now here in Perth as well. So I have a lot of touch points in the areas we're going to be talking about today, and I'm actually a person that lives with chronic illness and disability, so a lot of what I do is to try and help and change the game for people like myself. So I understand how to harness lived experience and make it into something that impacts the community. So I'd be really interested to see and to hear what you all have to offer today. I just had a few thoughts I wanted to share around social enterprise, social impact, and not-for-profit before we kick off. I think it's very undervalued. I think, honestly, we spend a lot of time focused in the startup ecosystem on everything else but social impact, social enterprise, and not-for-profit, and yet the power of what we do collectively actually changes community, which changes conversation, which changes culture, and that makes room for businesses to innovate, to adapt, and to grow. So we are often actually proving the market before business comes in and operates in that space. So don't undervalue what you do. Make sure that you recognise the power of what you're doing and continue to invest in yourself throughout this process. So I just want to encourage you all to continue doing what you're doing. It's a marathon, not a sprint, like all things in life. So don't burn yourself out, look after yourself, but it's really worth doing. Now, in terms of social impact, social enterprise, and not-for-profit, there are a couple of differences between what we often see in traditional startup pitches versus what we will see in these spaces. And that's because there's some unique things that can come with this space. See, the things that we actually put forward means we inherently come up against different obstacles, challenges, and barriers that other people typically would in their business or in their pursuit. You might be dealing with unconscious biases. You could be coming up against discrimination, lack of funding, lack of awareness, lack of education, red tape, politics, you name it. There are a lot of barriers and challenges that exist within the work that we do. So it's really important as you're putting your pitches together and as you're going forward with what you do, that you understand how to address and tackle those things. That's one thing I'm definitely going to be looking for today is, do you understand any challenges and barriers that you have, and what are your strategies to actually tackle those? The other thing to keep in mind is the bread and butter for social impact, social enterprise, and not-for-profit is not just the traditional things that we'd be looking at. And they're still important. It's good to know your COGS, your fiscals. It's good to know your target demographic and the problem that you're potentially solving. But it's also really important that you understand actually how to translate whatever has made you sit up, look up, stand up, and be compelled to say, I must do this. You are not inspired to do what you do because inspiration is fleeting. You are compelled. You are driven to say, I must do this thing. So you must be able to translate that and have another person, a company, or a community care just as much as you do about what you're doing. So the message, or in other words, not the pitch, but the storytelling that you do is critically important, because your bread and butter is actually other people connecting with you and not just being willing to put their money down or participate, but to then share it with the next person. And that's how this exponentially grows. I think you're all going to absolutely kick ass today. I'm so excited to hear you. Thank you for having me, and a big round of applause, all of you, for actually putting your hat in the ring. It takes courage, so well done.
I should have gone first. I've got to follow that. My name's Adam. I actually want to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land. If we're going to talk about social impact, we should pay respects to them and what they've sustained on these lands for over 60,000 years as we go through. So, yes, I'm Adam. I'm surprised from Tasmania. I'm your token Tasmanian today. But I spend a lot of time unlocking momentum for young people. I teach about 4,000 kids a year. I've spent the last couple of days down the southwest working with students, and we help start through our impact and business advisory firm around 300 businesses a year in regional areas. And I run a social impact incubator, our state's first in Tasmania, that's helped to start over 80 social enterprises. and I'm the convener of the Tasmanian peak body, so WASEX equivalent in Tasmania. Last year was listed one of Australia's 20 most influential educators, and the year before 40 under 40 nationally. And 10 years ago, I feel really old now, but 10 years ago I was a finalist for Young Australian of the Year. So I've been doing this for a little while, but really passionate around how do we do good in this space. And so I kind of want to just build off what Flick has talked about what actually is a social enterprise. Like, I want to give you the 101 masterclass while we're here, because I actually think it's business as usual. It's how we should do business. We should be doing things with purpose and that matter. But according to the People and Planet First framework, and this is what I'll be looking for, is the 5 factors of what we consider to be a social enterprise. 1, you're driven by purpose. You have a social or environmental challenge that you are tackling. That is 100% what you're about. So we talk about solving problems. These are big problems that we need to face in our world. And I love to hear the stories and the personal experience when we get through that. And then operations. How do you actually prioritize doing good? How do we look after people, planet, and chase your problem as we go through? The third one is obviously revenue. Social enterprises trade. So I'm interested in where that trading model sits. And then the surplus that you use after that. What do you do with those profits? Because you are driven around a cause. And it's not about lining your own pockets. It's about doing good in our place. And then there's the 5th one about structure, but that's in the framework. I'm not going to be too picky on that one. There's social traders has got a similar framework around purpose, revenue, and surplus. But for me, that's a social enterprise. That's what we're focused on, because we start things because things are worth solving. And those who start social enterprises, they see something of value that they can give and then do more with that. You might not be here in the audience that's fully social enterprise, but I think you all started for a purpose. And I actually also think the other side of it is we just need to talk about this more. It's not all about chasing the dollar. It's actually about doing good. We start because we see something that's got to be done better. And so as you walk out of here and have your networking conversations and chat, let's also talk about why we do what we do, because that stuff matters, and that's what today's all about as well. So thank you.
Woo! Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll take that. Cheers. Okay, well, let's get into it. So does anyone want to volunteer to be our timer today? And it just needs someone to... Russell, you're on it. So what we're going to do is give each startup 3 minutes. It's going to be a hard 3 minutes, and then Russell is going to start a clap when that 3 minutes is up. And we're all going to join in and clap you out, okay? So it's tough. Hopefully you've all pitched to or practiced to a timer. Let me just pull up the order again. There we go. Okay. So the first startup we have is Harry Clark, and you have a Canva link, which is over here. And all right, we'll make that full screen. Okay, and then we're going to say clap out 3 minutes, and then we're going to pass over to Adam and Flick, who are going to ask a couple of questions, and on to the next pitch. All right, please make him welcome, Harry. You're also going to need to hold a mic and use a clicker for all those pitching. All right, come over here.
Yep.
There's your clicker.
Thank you.
Or you can use the arrows on the...
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
You good with the timer? Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Adventure Labs. So this is a video series going to be a little bit... maybe if you just want to hold out on that timer there, Russell. This is meant to be full screen. Okay.
All right. Let's start the time.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm going to do this, right? Okay. Okay. All right. So we are redefining what it means to build startups in Australia. And so here's the truth. Most founders burn out, run out of cash, or never find the right team. Innovation isn't the problem. Execution is. Loneliness is. Adventure Labs is an independent community equity studio. This is the flagship rocket launcher. This is not going. There we go. I'm going to use this. Is that pausing? It's pausing. No, it's not pausing. All right. Where we pair A-level operators, smart capital, deep tech talent to create companies that scale. We identify market gaps and big opportunities before we call them startups. Our biggest upside is our people. We assemble killer teams and validate fast or fail or scale. The deep tech funding in Australia is projected to exceed $5 billion by 2027. but main sequence didn't see us coming. We're going to raise that. Our operating system is simple. No salaries, no bureaucracy. We're founders first, where studio founders get equity in every venture. Although we're primarily an in-house studio, this is our first call to the world. The Ideathon invites anyone to share their idea with us, specifically an AI idea. Your idea remains your IP, and if it's got legs, we'll back it, build it, and we'll co-own it with you. No gatekeepers, just pure execution. From mid-2026, we aim to launch highly engaged accelerators and bootcamps. And also the regional startup activation, which we'll be looking at exploring the rest of WA and anyone out there who is startup curious or at least has an idea that isn't remotely connected with Perth. Now, what we are looking for is we are looking for studio founders. We do already have some technical. I do have a wild card. I kind of think I'm one of them, but could be questionable. So if anyone here thinks that you are any of these stereotypes, then please find a way to find me or get in touch. There'll be QR codes at the end. So if you're an absolute killer, this is your chance, by the way. Now, we are also seeking capital partners to join the Venture Capital Syndicate. That is QR code. It will be there at the end as well. Thank you very much.
Right, you hold on to that. Thanks, Harry. We'll pass over to...
All right. Thank you very much. Obviously, very hard going first as well. So thank you for getting straight in and doing that. Love to, obviously, I think, as I said, like one of the things we want to help and encourage, I think, next time when the technology stuff's going on, just tell us the stories. Tell us what matters, because you're obviously passionate. I can hear your energy when you start to look off those. Just tell us that.
I'm also running on about 2 hours sleep because I was up until 2 a.m. with New York. I get you. Yeah. But I think you've got this, like when you get away from that screen, you've got some momentum. And so make sure you tell us those stories. Obviously love to see the traction that you're getting as well is probably the part that wasn't there. I love the goal, I love where you're going, but also what are the stakes that you've put in the ground so far that then goes, hey, that's going to be really exciting to kind of hear that. I heard the vision, but I didn't hear what you're doing right now, which makes me go, hey, what's next?
I echo you as well, Adam, with that. I think you've got some really good energy and so much of this is about storytelling. So when you can, steer towards that, forget the rest. That's what people are going to connect. We remember how you make people feel more than anything else. So turn into that, the details become secondary in a lot of ways. I was really curious as to what research or I guess really what your inspiration was for actually starting this. That was missing from the pitch, so I didn't really connect from that perspective. I'd love to know what inspired you or compelled you to create this. The second aspect I would probably say is that you've listed off a range of different types of areas that you would focus on. I'd love to know what kind of research or background you have to be able to contextually speak to backing all those different kinds of fields and industries, because they have a lot of nuance and context in them that not all funds are actually capable of really supporting. So that's my feedback.
Sure. Were those questions as well? Do you want me to give answers there?
I don't know if you have time, or is this feedback?
You've got 30 seconds to respond to any of that.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a Q&A here at all, or?
This is it.
This is it. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But that's fine. Now that I'm not in front of a computer, I would say that all of this it's compounding, all of my life's work is here. So 15 years of pivoting, failing, building, starting, the whole lot has brought me to a point where I've realised that the only way to properly do it is with a foundational team from the very beginning. Yep.
All right. Please thank Harry. Well done. Good job for going first. All right, who have we got next? We have Carer Allies, Tracy Jewell. Awesome. G'day.
Hey.
Good to meet you. Okay, so Mike, Vicar, 3 minutes on the clock.
Awesome. Thanks. Hi, I'm Tracy Jewell. I'm in my caregiver era. we have created for unpaid carers, workplace and community allyship. If you didn't know, 1 in 8 Australians are unpaid carers. That's 1 in 5 in your workplace. If you work or in a sports club with more than 5 people, I guarantee you, even if you don't know it, one of them is an unpaid carer. Most hide their role at work due to stigma, fear and discrimination of losing their job. Many are unable to participate in any ongoing real way. I am a carer. I looked after my mother-in-law who passed from dementia last year, and my son has disabilities. I have been fired from more than one job, which is why I started this. There is no national allyship model or peer support model to help communities and help workplaces to support carers participate. What we are is a social enterprise model. We offer practical allyship training and workshops like a first aid model for workplaces, HR and community leaders. We do awareness campaigns that normalise and make the invisible load of carers visible. And we empower carers to become facilitators and earn income streams themselves. Our income streams are from workshop and program fees, from facilitator fees, training the trader, from manuals and certification fees, so people can say, I am a carer-friendly workplace or I am a carer-friendly organisation. We have awareness products and resources like starter kits and awareness merchandise like Carers Week that was last week. And we have our own first aid framework. We have them for mental health, menopause, gender. So it's time we had one to support our unpaid carers. It's the connect, acknowledge, respond and empower model that anyone can become a carer ally. What we are seeking are pilot partners. We have already run 20 workshops and 200 people to become carer allies. So we have some impact measurement to show that this works and allows unpaid carers to participate in work and participate in sports clubs and their communities. We are also looking for advisory allies in HR, wellbeing and diversity and inclusion experts. We're looking for marketing support and awareness to help us get it out there, and looking for workplaces to actually become carer allies and actually take this to their organisations and run a workshop. And we're looking for funding to help train the trainers and help train unpaid carers, find employment, and also do more impact evaluation. And I haven't even been clapped out, so there we go.
Great job. Nice.
All right.
Tracy, that one spoke straight to my heart as somebody in the DEI space and with lived experience. I fully get where you're coming from, and congratulations on doing what you're doing. It's awesome. The one question I had, and it really is only one question because that was smooth as butter. Really, really well done. Great storytelling, really connecting. My curiosity is particularly in you wanting to get more workplaces to do this training. What's your hook? Because as we all know in these spaces, they often consider this to be a nice to have, not a must have. We know that that's not true, but they don't know that. So what's your hook to get them to do it?
Well, you need to show what workplaces get from it.
Yep.
Like if you look after unpaid carers, like people with disabilities and other marginalised groups, they will stay, they will work harder, they're the most productive people. We have so many skills as unpaid carers. We are the most organised people you'll ever meet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the hook for workplaces to do this.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Awesome.
I always love it when I've got like, oh, I should ask this question, and then you do it on the next slide. So it's always good when you do that. Love the story at the start. I think that's really powerful. For me, I'm a big one on what's the problem, what's your lived experience, because then you can talk from that. So it's really great that you put that up front. I have a question and it's probably just something to add in, and future is more social enterprises also are really great with what they do with their profit. So where does that invest back into? But it's just making sure that that's there. And you said impact numbers. I would have loved to have seen them just to validate, probably to go on the other side of that, going, hey, this is what it means. This is what it's done. Just to flash through and just go, great, because that would only heighten the story that you've already shared. But otherwise, it's a great pitch, so well done.
Thank you. Can I just share where the money goes? So it's a return to work grants for unpaid carers to upskill, get childcare, get technology, get the clothing they need to get interviews into the workplace for those that have been out of work for a long time. So that's where the money goes.
Yeah, excellent.
Fantastic. Woo, Tracy.
I will shout, but I have a question. I didn't see, how did you make money?
How do you make money is the question.
Workshop fees, so the 20 we've done, so workshop fees and facilitators paying commission back for the workshops that they do.
All right. Very good. Well done, Tracy. Nice work. Woo. One more round of applause. Okay. I have 2 microphones. Who's next? Circle 8. Mark. You bought a prop?
Love props.
Whoa. How are you going to manage that with a microphone and a clicker? Let's see.
Idea.
All right. There's your clicker.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. My name's Mark Rogan. I'm the founder of Circle 8 Clean Technologies. 2015, I failed in a business with my wife as a founder. We launched the first coffee pot in the world that was compostable. It failed. So we had to go back to the drawing board. We knew that the mechanics of bioplastics weren't good, so we moved on with CSRO and developed Enzyme Technologies, which is launching next year. And it's an enzyme that sits inside bioplastics, and when it goes into the ocean or the ground, it comes alive and eats the plastic from the inside out. Minderoo backed it, and we'll see that next year. So we moved on from that as founders, and we moved on to this because we knew we had to separate the waste. Okay, and that was the key, is that we've got 2 trillion of these made every year throughout the world. And the deposit return systems in Australia, including the containers for change, is failing. Okay, there's 500 million containers in the wild in WA at the moment we're not collecting. And we know what plastic does and everything else does. So let's go through this. So we've created a data system, essentially. Okay, unlocking future where waste becomes one of the most valuable data streams in the circular economy. So, Circle 8 Hardware enables SaaS companies to advancing the circular economy through smart data, smart software, and connected collection technology. Our mission is to democratise packaging. That's the key. Everywhere and anywhere, you need to be able to collect. And that's the issue with the deposit return systems. You have to collect hundreds of them and take them in your car somewhere. These should be in your office, at your home, on the street. And that's what we're building. So, we're starting our demonstration at Curtin University next month. Okay, we've got 6 bins going in there. We've got Red Bull backing it. So it's a gamification model. Essentially that you'll tap your mobile phone, scan your item, goes in the bin, reconciles it, AIs it, and rewards you in real time on your actual mobile phone. Win a Red Bull. The non-for-profits like the Curtin Guild can earn money because they collect the 10 cents because we're gamifying it, which is the main thing. But also containers can change, can use this as well and put them in place. They're inexpensive, not like reverse vending machines. Thank you.
Nice work. Can we see it in action?
He's a working prototype, but the real ones are getting built right now. We don't think it's fair that we show you before we show our shareholders and suppliers. So at the end of the day, this is working. It's a bit clunky at the moment, but the one we're building now is amazing. It's an outdoor bin and an indoor bin. These will be under $1,000. The outdoor bins will be inexpensive compared to what's out there at the moment. Reverse vending machines are $20,000 plus, right? So for us to democratise waste collection, it has to be everywhere and everywhere, doesn't it? These bins lock and they unlock. We know who's unlocked them. We know how full the bin is. Okay, we know who's put what in there and when.
Sorry, I took the question away from our...
Sorry. Yep.
No, look, first of all, thanks for obviously opening up with your experience. That's great to hear. If we're going to support and get on board, hearing that experience is really powerful. And I think the only other thing that I had just made a note around was as a comment was around there's quite a few of us that are working in this space that goes waste is actually the wrong word because this is a resource and you are doing that. And so it's about how do you redefine that really up front that gets people to think differently because that is where you're going as well.
No, I appreciate that. And we see this as collecting an asset. But in the world, when we're pitching, some people don't quite understand that. So we see this as a mining project.
Well done, Mark. That's really, really good. And I think obviously it's going to make a huge impact. I see so many benefits in using it. I guess my curiosity is if you want this to be really widespread and widely adapted, are you looking at getting more in terms of the commercial enterprise to support this, or are you wanting the government to back a rollout of this widely?
Such a good question. We went up to CSIRO, invited us up to Indonesia, and this is why I want to put this to you. Jakarta had 100 companies and we won it. And the reason why is because we can commercialise it. They don't have container deposit schemes there. We can put these in front of retail stores, enable Coca-Cola to collect their own plastic back, reward people in store. So we take the pressure off government and actually help them develop these systems.
Brilliant, well done.
Nice, thank you.
Thank you. Good job, Mark. All right. I see Scott's getting ready. He must be the next one. All right. Edmagine, Scott Sullivan. Not Edmagine. Should I keep reading this? Okay. Oh, you got check all over the place. Okay, please make a welcome to Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott from Edmagine, and I'd like to introduce you to some very important people. Meet Jaden. He's bright and curious, yet in the classroom he's bored, and teachers are seeing him as a problem child. Miller, full of expression and curiosity, but teachers are saying she's too distracted to learn. And Ethan, who desires nothing more but to build things, already sees that school is not for him. What's recognised as individual potential is seen as problems in the classroom, with teachers overwhelmed, stressed in an already exhausted system. We are seeing more and more students being disengaged in the classroom due to diverse needs, cultural understanding and disability. We know that our teachers are burning out in the droves and leaving the profession, and our education system is at the precipice of falling apart. We recognise that our education system is not for all, and that's where Edmagine comes in. Edmagine is a personalised, innovative platform that cultivates curriculum suited to the interests, strengths, talents and motivations of children that need to explore the world that they're connected to. The AI is connected to ensuring that there is an alignment between the curriculum standards, but is done in a way that students can see themselves in the world. We've connected with parents who say all they want to see is themselves and the children in their curriculum. We built Edmagine as a community where parents come together and share and sip their problems and concerns. We've connected with ION, who builds social and emotional guardrails, because we know that education is holistic and children aren't ready to learn until they feel safe and trusted. And we're building with Home Education Network, WA, in supporting continual problem pain points in ensuring that Edmagine is suited to individual needs, talents and strengths. Our team is a perfect empowerment of entrepreneurship and education. Jacinta has worked in 14 years in education, both internationally and nationally. We have Josh, who has worked 21 years at Microsoft and now is the CEO of Arcana. And myself, who used to be a deputy principal, has built my own school and has 16 years of education experience, both in the country and metro. What we're seeking is for us to join the Edmagine community, help us build a movement to ensure that we are catering for the education needs for the future. We want early investors who recognise that this is the power and potential for future education and innovation. And we're going to start with a home education network with 10,000 in Western Australia before rolling out to 50,000 nationally. Anyone that watched the news yesterday would know that home schooling is on the increase, and we are at the precipice of actually recognising individual education systems are needed in our personalising. Thank you. Good job. All right. That was my first ever pitch.
Well done, Scott, and also well done on breaking that cherry, because that was an excellent pitch for your first one. Another round of applause just for doing your first one. Good job. Amazing. So you've really identified the problem very clearly, which is great. You've given some good examples, which I love, and you clearly have already set up some great partnerships, so you're already miles ahead, which is fantastic. I do have two questions for you. One is, you obviously have got a lot of education background in your foundership team and you're working with those partners. Have you brought on lived experience representatives from different areas of the communities that you will be touching on to help advise within this program?
Yeah, for the two, one is a cultural advisor, particularly for Aboriginal communities.
Yep.
So another part of EdImagine is making sure that the curriculum matches the demographic in which they live in,
Yep.
and also a disability or advisor as well. So they're the two that I'll connect with.
Perfect, that's great. And the other one is just in terms of, being able to personalise, what are the accessibility features that you have actually got available to make that personalised for the students?
Yeah, so we making sure that there's contrast in colour, simplifying the platform for students with autism, really recognising the individual behaviours of the student. A student with ADHD, for example, recognising that there's a time for working for 20 minutes, they then have a break, the AI celebrates that. Yeah, so it will be just around those features.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Excellent. I've only probably just got some things to think about as a fellow educator. I love to see these sorts of things roll out there. I think one of the things is always how much time they're going to spend on devices is always an interesting one. So it's how do you mix that online and offline sort of world. But I love the story at the start was great. I'd probably almost go, the thing is they're very clear stock images. And so I kind of go, how do you tell that story authentically without stock photos? I'm always interested in data security. Like one of the reasons we don't use Slack for our stuff is because minors can't use it, so we don't use it. And so it's always going, where's that data stored and managed? Because that's always going to be a question, especially some homeschool parents will ask that. Love to see a QR code around your links. And probably the thing that I didn't hear was your revenue and your surplus. Just going, that's something to share because that goes, hey, I know where you're going and I'm going to be more on board because I know where it's going to help. And great to see that you connect with Lockheed Aryan too. He's a great guy, so it's good to see.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Scott. Cheers. You guys might as well hold on to that one. All right. Okay. Let's have a look. Plenty gifting. Anushka. All right. Let's make that bigger. That's the clicker. This is your mic. Got the timer ready. Please make a welcome, Anushka.
Thanks, everyone. Life can really throw curveballs. A colicky baby, a job loss, a diagnosis, a death in the family. Sometimes it's really hard to know how to best support someone travelling through one of those seasons. Even harder still if we live far away or we've also got a lot on our plate. My name is Anushka and I'm the founder of Plenty Gifting, Perth's new and unique meal gifting service. We deliver delicious, nourishing, chef-prepared meals as a practical and meaningful alternative to a bunch of flowers. Generously portioned, beautifully packaged, delivered by hand, no generic frozen meals, no single-use styrofoam, no waste, just good food and genuine connection. That's the enterprise. Now here's the impact. Every Plenty meal gift is the gift that gives twice. We are a not-for-profit social enterprise, directing 100% of our profits from meal gift sales back into local emergency food relief, supporting people in crisis here in WA. 1 in 10 West Australians live below the poverty line and don't know where their next meal is coming from. 200,000 WA households ran out of food last year. What we realised is that the world doesn't need more food relief programs. Existing food relief programs need more support. That's why we're really proud to partner with 2 local grassroots organisations providing food relief in WA. We've got Havenwell in Victoria Park and Feed the Little Children, our regional program partner in Broome. Both of these organisations are best placed to identify and meet need in our community. Both of these organisations are facing the incredible challenge of trying to meet the demand, the massive increase in demand for their services. Plenty Gifting's profit for purpose model is a community-based and scalable model to help fight food insecurity in WA. And the response to our service has been incredible so far. 5-star Google reviews, meal gift recipients converting into purchases upon experiencing our service. We've got a 33% repeat customer rate, which in gifting is really high. It usually sits between 10 and 25%. And an 84% redemption on our meal gift certificates. And we're just getting started. What we need now is more visibility. I'm asking PR consultants in the room to continue this conversation with me, to develop a PR strategy for Plenty Gifting, to get our good news story out there and to grow our sales and deepen our impact. In a country where no one should go hungry, we believe that change starts locally. One caring act, one shared meal, one bowl at a time. Thank you for helping us fill bellies and build belonging in our beautiful state.
Awesome. Amazing. I have just notes more than questions. I'm sure that Flick's got some questions. Love the story at the front, telling us where the story's going. Partnerships is definitely the best way to go. Then you don't have to create and identify who is the deservers of impact. You can work with those. It's really great. I'd probably say if you haven't yet, make sure you talk to the WASEC team in the back and make sure that you're a verified social enterprise. It'd be amazing to get that badge against what you're doing. The only thing I probably would add, and it's not to take away from all the awesome you did, I think the last bit is make us hungry and make us want to buy this product at the end. Because you sell it so well at the front of the pictures, and then you tell us about the impact. It's like, this is really great, but almost going, we should all walk out of here gifting something today. And from the PR strategy, if you have not signed up to the newsletter Source Bottle, which sends out daily PR requests twice a day, get onto that newsletter and see what you can do, because there's so much stuff that comes through there. And if you've got your interests aligned in that, there'll be so much stuff that you can pick up yourself from that too.
Thank you. Thanks. Good tips. I just want to say we are actually members of WASEC.
Verify.
And yes, and we are registered not-for-profit with the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profits Commission.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Honestly, I loved basically everything about that. That was really smooth. It was very heartfelt, the way that you delivered it as well. It wasn't just words. I could tell that you actually meant what you were talking about. So thank you for doing such a good job of bringing your authenticity through that. It was a great connecting point. I guess I have one question, which is a very small question for you ultimately. But how do you deal with people that have got food allergies, food intolerances, issues of that kind? Because we find there are high proportions of communities that have different needs that also have issues like that as well. So how do you navigate that?
Yeah, sure. We are still small, so we have quite a curated menu. We do cater for some of the major food intolerances like gluten-free and dairy-free. And as we grow, our menu will grow. But we've noticed an 84% redemption rate, so we think that's actually pretty high. And worst case scenario, if there's nothing on our menu that you can eat, you can gift the meal on. And any unredeemed gifts at the end of that legal 3-year period, any unredeemed gift funds go back to our community program partners. So there's never a gift that's wasted.
That's brilliant. And lastly, because you are obviously on the PR trend, and as someone that has a radio show and works very much in this space, can I just plug community radio? Get out and start speaking on community radio. They are some of the most vocal groups and connected to so many supportive groups. So if you can get your message out and build some relationships with some local community radio broadcasters, they will often open doors for you into major mainstream radio and other broadcasting channels. So that can be a fast track for you.
Great. Thank you. They were really good tips. I'll take that on board. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Okay, I always forget to do this too, but toilets are down the hall, just behind the beach and banner, and head down there if you need them. All right, we've got Aaron. Hey, Aaron. Schematic. Let's view slideshow. All right, microphone clicker.
Cool. Put this down. Back. Thanks. Clapped out already. Hey everyone, I'm Aaron Kozovich, the founder of Schematic. I am an economist with over 10 years of experience in evaluating project impact. We typically do it as economists along 4 lines, and that's economic, financial, social, and environmental impact. The way that we would look at this with a really large project, something like a solar farm, would be on the cost side, initial planning costs, capital costs, maintenance costs, some environmental impacts. On the benefit side, potentially the financial revenues, but also GHG offsets, local job creation. Potentially expanding a hospital. Another large project like that, we'd look at health improvements, reduce waiting times, increase property values, local job creation. And there is a lot of science that goes into measuring this. Internally, within a company or an NFP, we would potentially have a new initiative that needs to be prioritized, maybe the introduction of an AI agent. You'd look at initial development costs for that, and on the benefit side, potential salary savings, transfer to higher value activities, increase sales. But with all this, I've always wondered throughout my career, why doesn't any software exist to help us? For me to do the evaluation, or for someone within an NFP, for example, to run that evaluation themselves. Eventually, I decided to make it myself. That's Reschematic, screenshot from the homepage. It's a live platform. You can already go on and use it. There's users. It works great. Essentially, you can generate a model that provides an interactive UI for you to explore impact, and you get expert support from leading economists, such as myself, who will help you out with those models as well. It gives you all the interactive components you need to explore your models and your impact. And this is an example of what one of these finished models looks like. You can explore different scenarios. You can interact with every assumption that's in there. These are generated as a starting point, and then you refine them over time to tell the impact story that you need to. Touching on that a little more. So the current focus at the moment, platform's live, is just raising this brand awareness, trying to get out speaking engagements like this one, engaging more customers in the NFP space is really important, and also solo and small boutique economic consultancies that work with those clients. Not currently fundraising, but that's where we're at. Again, I'm Aaron Kozovich. I'm the lead economist of Reschematic. I've developed the platform myself. You can scan through for my LinkedIn there. And if you want to explore the website, it's reschematic.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Aaron, for that. I've only just got a couple of notes here, maybe just to reflect on and think about. When you got to your frustration, I was like, that's when I saw you start to get annoyed about what's there when you talked about that program evaluation software. So shorten that first bit down, because that's the part, like we're here to connect with you. And I would have loved to see a use case on a customer, because I can see how this works for big projects. I'm currently working on bringing a statewide social value metric to Tasmania. Yep. And again, so I can see this and I can see where it's going, but then my head is always going, how does a small business use a platform
Can
like
I give
this?
an example?
Go for
Yep.
it.
So partnering with an NFP at the moment, medium size, they've got 100 to 200 employees. They're asset portfolio manager. They're looking at a license to prioritize all their projects internally. Their services manager who delivers their programs, and also their CTO who prioritizes the tech initiatives within the firm. So they model these together to explore those projects.
Yeah. So I think something like that in your pitch goes, I know who needs this. I know who else to talk to as well. So otherwise, thank you.
Yeah, I pretty much concur with everything that Adam has said. I don't have an awful lot to add other than in this particular setting, given it's sort of social enterprise, it would have been good to have seen a couple of different examples, especially as you mentioned at the end, you would have liked to engage some NFPs as well. That would have been a useful example to show today. So, yep, that's really it. Otherwise, Great job.
Thanks.
Good on you, Aaron. Hey, Ron. Okay. All right, Elisa, do you want the Canva link? Yeah. All right, let's roll with that. Thanks, your mic.
Thank you so much.
Oops.
Okay. Yep.
All right.
Okay, let's start. Please raise your hand whoever works from home. Okay, and now raise your hand if you ever spend the whole day working from home without talking to anyone face to face, except the delivery guy, perhaps. Yes, I've been there. And you know, working from home gives us a lot of flexibility, but it comes with some things that we don't really talk about, and that is isolation and also loneliness. In fact, 25% of remote employees have experienced this daily loneliness. And people, you know, is craving for this social interaction while on their breaks. They want to go for a coffee and having a chat. They want to change their current working setup from time to time so they feel more productive. So currently, There is no easy way to find and book co-working spaces. You need to go through different websites, you need to buy separate daily passes, and still you don't know if you will find your tribe. So that's the problem we are solving with BuyMates. BuyMates, it's an app that helps people that work from home find co-working spaces, connect with like-minded people, and more than that, join a community wherever they work. So yeah, what is the potential market? This is not a small problem. As you can see, 36% of employees of Australians now, they work from home. And we're talking about this TAM that is 4.4 billion. If we only consider these 25% that are the people that work from home that experience this loneliness, that we are talking about 1.1 billion. And if we only consider to reach only 10% of this market, then we are talking about 110 million. So there is a huge potential on this market. What about our business models? So we have a hybrid business model. We have a free plan where we are going to commission for hourly bookings. And we also have a subscription plans for people that have recurring co-working needs and want to join a community. So what about the co-working space? Probably you're wondering that. They are our partners and they also win. Why? Because we're creating new people that is coming to their places. We're creating also exposure for them. And more than that, they are going to get rid of these sunk costs for having this desk utilization. So where we stand now? So we have conducted 20 user interviews so far. We have launched our landing page, and so far we got 16 organic signups. So our vision is to become the go-to platform where remote and hybrid workers can access co-working spaces globally and connect with peers who share their vibe. My name is Jalit Salonkari, and I want to make remote work more human. Thanks. You can scan the QR code to join the waiting list. Thank you.
Well done, well done. I just had a couple of little comments to make. First of all, I like the fact that you did a bit of audience interaction by asking questions, but I think it probably would have been a little bit more compelling for you to have started with how you have experienced isolation and loneliness.
Yeah.
That would have been a greater connecting
Gotcha.
point, and then maybe you still do some interaction for sure, but it took me a second to kind of work out where you were going. I think if you'd done it in reverse, you would have got me immediately. So that's just in terms of your storytelling. The only other thing I was thinking of, I can see the power of utilising the co-working spaces, and it makes a lot of sense in a CBD or city environment, but it somewhat, from what you've presented, discounts people that may not, either from an accessibility point of view, might not be able to come to co-working spaces, or people that live in more rural or regional areas where co-working spaces might not be as readily available to them. So I was just wondering, are you potentially going to grow, or have you thought of growing a model that allows people who can only connect online to also take advantage of the community aspect and remove isolation for them by still being able to connect online with one another?
Yes, actually, those are one of our challenges for people that are that work in remote areas, and we don't have these co-working spaces. So one of our challenges is to have this partnership with these co-working spaces and spread these so they can grow. And also, we are also thinking to have like an online version to create this community, because people wants to belong for something bigger. So that's what we're trying to create. Not just feel this, we also want to make this a big community.
Beautiful, thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, I probably got similar comments around the connection piece as well. I think there is a thread that you started and then you didn't pull it back up again. So that it's all about connection. For me, the part I was going, how do I know where my community is? How do I connect? If you're going to open that door, you've got to take us all the way through that. I think booking a desk, we all understand how this can work, but that's where you said the difference, the vibe mates. That's the part that I was interested in hearing more about. And just, yeah, maybe it's just me, I'm simple-minded, but kind of go, hey, if you're going to go down that one thread, just pull it all the way through. Yeah. And then probably where I'm going to come from a social enterprise angle and go, where's the surplus and what does that go towards? But I understand where you're at in the process. But that's the other piece just to consider. Once you start making money out of this, how does this also help good stuff, which, you sort of probably iterate a little bit with that answer, but just making sure that's up front, because that's another reason why people will choose your platform over others. But otherwise, thank you. Well done.
Thank you. We are in the proof of concept, so we are wanting people that join the waitlist. So please, if this aligns with you, please feel free to visit 5minutes.com or join the waitlist. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Well done. Okay, I think we are into the Zs with Zentient. This is our last pitch of the day. Have we got Stephen and or James? We've got 2 pitches today. All right, do you guys need 2 microphones simultaneously? Or are you going to... Yeah, let's do that.
Thanks.
All right, let's try and make this a slideshow. There's a clicker.
Thank you very much. Now I can interject while Stephen speaks.
Hey guys.
Sorry, kidding.
I'm Stephen. This is James. We're the co-founders of a social enterprise called Zentient. I think our story is that we have worked in tech consulting as a software engineer for years, and before we co-founded Zentient, we were also volunteers in the non-for-profit space, in mental health and youth, but also in conservation and the arts. And I think as we volunteered across a range of organizations, it was hard to not feel frustrated that when we came in, we loved the purpose, we loved the people with so much energy, but we just saw so many people frustrated and struggling with the systems that they worked with. These non-for-profits were working with disjointed systems on free licenses, trying to get the most out of it. And it wasn't a lack of trying, it didn't seem that they were actually getting the tech support that they needed from their managed service provider. And consultants were just getting their Lottery West grants and just charging them $100K for a Salesforce project that they didn't know how to use. So I think for us, with our experience, we then thought about how can we do this differently, and we decided to co-found the WASIC and DOOR social enterprise that is Zentient. So where we are at the moment is that we believe that we do tech consulting differently because we bring a more human-centered design focus to non-for-profits, understanding the people first and understanding the problems that non-for-profits face, where non-for-profits are not just struggling with changes in the funding landscape and the pressures there, but also are working with disconnected systems, and I think they lack that blueprint there. So James will talk more about where Zentient is now.
Yeah, I think also just to say as well, I think that unknowingly the tech industry has kind of been systematically depriving the not-for-profit sector of what they actually need. I think there are a lot of models that prioritize giving them something that's so complicated that they're reliant on the tech consultants to come back every couple of years just for that recurring funding. And grants can sometimes be very restrictive. Once you actually get into the weeds and figure out what they need, you've kind of already become locked in on a particular system. And then you kind of bolt on more and more stuff, and that just gets more and more complicated at the expense of training time. And ultimately, one of the problems is that only 2% of staff in NFPs are tech employees compared to about 10% in the corporate world. So ultimately, who is going to bear the cost and the burden of maintaining these things? But often tech consultants don't think about delivering something that's simple and effective. They just want to build another app or push on their website platform of choice. So in terms of traction, we've been going for about 4 years now. We've delivered about $250,000 worth of services, saving not-for-profits an estimated $200,000. This year, we were an emerging
emerging social enterprise in WASIC.
Yep, that's the one. Thank you.
IBG last year.
We got an IBG last year. And I suppose where we're at currently is that we've got a great service. Our customers love us. They keep coming back. But we're really just looking to expand our market and our client base. At the moment, we're not getting the referrals that we'd like to be getting. If people have got connections or if you've got partnerships in the space, we always believe that collaboration is the best way to do things rather than duplicating everyone's efforts.
More tech expert partners to connect to. We specialize in that human-centered part, but the specialists we can connect to and co-founders.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Love the frustration. You clearly are frustrated by it, and I think all of us in the room probably nodded when you started to talk about that too. I actually reckon you could probably tighten that whole part up because I think so many people know technology frustrates us all. And like I deliver government contracts, I have to self-manage it all as well because I just can't trust other platforms. But I almost go, how do you shorten that down and then spend more time? The case study when you said that you've delivered $250,000 worth of work and saving $200,000. That's the exciting part because that's how you get the referrals in. And so going, where's the case studies? Where's the use stories that goes, hey, I know someone else who does that to get that in and just trim down the starting bit because I think that inviting and that encouragement where we can get people in is where you are. The story's clear. The frustration is clear. Just open that door wider so that we all know, hey, I know who you need.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Yep, I very much agree with that. The only other question, I guess, I really wanted to pose is, if you're not getting the referrals that you're looking for, what is your current referral strategy? Like, how are you asking for them?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay, so you need to kind of ask for them and do things like that.
Yeah,
So there's a lot
definitely.
of different strategies around that. I would say probably, just as a little pro tip from someone that's had to do it, go back to your current user base, talk to them very openly about it. You'll find usually if you have the conversation, someone will come forward with that, and there's lots of ways to do it. You can gamify it, you can profit share, there's a load of different strategies for it, but start with what you've already got and spin it up from there. Usually having that conversation, a dozen of them will say, oh yeah, I was thinking of that, I didn't know if it was appropriate, and by the way, I know somebody.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just kind of having what will feel like an awkward conversation until you get practiced at it. Once you've devised a strategy, it'll just become like a system like you've already created.
That's
so
great
you've
advice.
got it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, that concludes all the pictures. So if I can ask everyone to open up their Slack app, I'll do the same with a proper browser. Just give me 2 seconds. I shouldn't say Arc's a proper browser. It's now been discontinued, so never mind. But I'll hang it on. So head into the general channel. Hit the emoji. Let's do top 3. So let's do just top 1. You can vote for your 3 favourite startups. We want to see who gets the most votes. And Adam and Flick, do you guys have a favourite at all? If you think about if you had $100,000.
We just opted out of voting for that exact reason.
All right, should we let the judges off? They've done a fantastic job at giving some awesome feedback. So just while you're doing that, please thank you very much for coming down. All the way from Tasmania as well. And I think you've got a plane to catch after this as well, right? So are you guys going to hang around for 9 minutes until we get kicked out of Rift to answer any questions and circulate? I think hopefully we can get a bit more time with Space Cubed to eat the food and get to know each other. What do we got?
Ooh, 3 sevens.
Ooh, Imagine, plenty gifting, and Carer Allies. Well done, guys. All right, you've just won the morning startup $100,000 Ferrari or something. Well done. Good job. All right. But thank you for everyone for pitching today. I know it's not easy, like you've just got that internal battle, should I do it, should I do it? No, I should do it, but actually getting up and doing it is a completely different thing. There's probably hundreds of people in Perth that are like, I should have done that, but didn't, so well done. Congratulations. Now, don't forget, in 2 weeks' time, we have... Thanks, Drew. Get on the $100, the $1,000. Love the hustle. Nice. Let's just scroll back to what was I saying? Scotty, Alan, in 2 weeks' time, going to be talking about startup failures and how to avoid them, so please come along. That same day, we've got Founder Sundowner in the evening. Anything else, Nina?
No, I think we're good. Thank you. We have food over there as well. We have some food left. Please have some and pick me up before you go on with your day, and hope you have a great Wednesday.
Thanks for coming. Cheers.